Hi, I'm Petra Selly, singer-songwriter, music producer. Welcome to my channel. I learned how to make music from the internet on a low budget because I'm a broke-ass millennial. In this video, I'm going to share 3 things I realized during my first ever try of making a drum and bass track from samples taken from my wonderful little Shiba Inu boy, Buddha. We all know that if we want to make a track and if we want to make drum and bass, we start with the drums. Just to clarify, I didn't really do a lot of research on bass. I have a plan for this year to be focusing on one thing at a time per month, and this month is for drums. I've never ever really done a drum and bass track before. I tried and I failed miserably, so I am just happy that I finished this one. Nevertheless, I learned things. So, we all know we could just drag and drop some drum and bass loops from the internet. If you do that, 1, you won't be able to understand the basic rhythm of any kind of genre. 2, you won't be able to apply different effects and compression and all of that kind of stuff individually to the instruments because everything is on one channel. In 3, it will be very hard to mix and master it later on because everything is on one channel. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not as convenient as having everything on different channels. However, they could absolutely use loops of single instruments or filter or EQ a loop so that it only plays in a certain frequency range. It will be a fun way to repurpose any kind of loop. I think I got this, okay? Another way to spice up drums is to actually use different samples of the same instrument, different but similar sounding samples. You can do this by drag and dropping the samples into arrangement view and just organize them on an audio channel, or you can create a drum rack, use your MIDI controller, or you can just place them into the grid. When you start with your arrangement, it's got to be simple as a brick, and you do that by building a brick, aka a loop. But before you build your loop, I advise you to actually just sketch up a very rough arrangement in your Ableton. You can do that by adding locators to your track on the timeline or creating a MIDI channel, calling it arrangement, and you include colorful MIDI clips into it. After thorough research, I discovered that most of electronic music consists of intro, bump, break, buzz, outro. A building block of the whole music, aka the loop I was talking about, is 16 bars long. You can build that 16 bars up by starting with 4-bar loops. It will be the loudest and richest part in your song. When this 16-bar loop is ready, you guessed it, you gotta duplicate the and then you start subtract. You take away instruments from different parts of the song. It is important that you organize your track because then later on you can keep an eye on your instruments in different frequency levels or just grouped instruments like drums, keys, and basses. When you are taking away instruments from your track or adding other elements or adding variations or something like that, you need to be aware what kind of frequency range creates a kind of emotion or sensation in humans. So when you subtract from the loop, you can build up tension and you can take away tension or release tension, playing with the different frequency levels. For example, high frequencies tend to carry more energy, naturally creating a kind of tension you wait for, or lower frequencies are more chill. When everything is together, it's the most complex, the most emotional. This was so hard to put together in my head. This was so freaking hard. Not only when I did it, because I was like, okay, we have a intro, a body, a break in a body, and an outro again. But how long are they? How many building blocks that they take in? I tried to. I told you, like, you're gonna receive 3 stuff, but you're gonna receive one more thing, and it's a very important thing. If you haven't heard of it, it took me years to figure this out. It's such a fundamental thing. I believe I must have learned about it when I finished music producer school in 2019, but I forgot it. You ready? You will have to gain stage. Remember, you have those channels and you can see the levels of the channels, like the volume of the channels, and then the master's channel sometimes turns red. Well, you need to gain stage. That means that you will need to leave headroom for the mixing and mastering engineer when you finish your track. I highly recommend that you do that while you're creating your project as well, so you don't freaking forget about it. What do I mean by leaving headroom? Take down your track's volume so that the maximum volume of a clip would be between 6 and 12 decibels. Yes, it's not going to be as loud when you're creating your mix, but it really helps your ear to become fatigued later. And I gotta tell you, like I realized myself, that making a track loud, it's the mastering engineer's job. Your job is to make the track as clean and balanced as you can when you finish it. So now you got it, carry it with yourself. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I'm a beginner producer. I'm here to stay with my Shiba Inu only side. I will slay. Yeah. Oh my god. Sorry.